Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. The Washington Commanders find themselves in a precarious situation this season, scrambling to fill a crucial void in their roster after Austin Ekeler, one of the league's premier running backs, suffered a devastating torn Achilles that will sideline him for the remainder of the campaign. The timing couldn't be worse for the Commanders, who were already looking to solidify their backfield with consistent options capable of sustaining a deep playoff run. With Ekeler out, the urgency to find a reliable running back has intensified, and suddenly, a potential trade target in Cleveland Browns Jerome Ford has emerged as a hot topic across the league. This isn't just speculation. It's grounded in analysis from some of the NFL's most respected voices, including Tim Crean from Pro Football Network, who identified the Commanders as a viable landing spot for Ford if the Browns decide to move him. According to Crean, the Browns' backfield is rapidly becoming overcrowded, making it difficult for Ford to maintain a significant role in the offense. With the addition of promising rookies like second-round pick Quinshon Judkins and a heavy rotation that already includes fourth-round pick Dylan Sampson, who carried the load in Week 1 with 12 carries and 8 catches, and undrafted rookie Raheem Sanders, who scored the team's only rushing touchdown in that same game, Ford's opportunities are increasingly limited. Crean's insight points to the practical reality that Ford, while talented, is no longer positioned to be the centerpiece of the Browns' ground game. From a strategic perspective, Ford represents an appealing option for a team like the Commanders. He isn't necessarily a bell cow back who will shoulder 20-plus carries a game, but he brings versatility and experience that could prove invaluable in a supporting role. In a system that will need to compensate for Ekeler's absence, Ford could assume first-team responsibilities on occasion while also rotating with existing backs like Jeremy McNichols, Chris Rodriguez Jr., and rookie Ja'Cory Cross-Gameret, who has been thrust into a leadership role in the backfield despite being a seventh-round rookie. The idea of integrating Ford into the Commanders' offense isn't just about numbers. It's about creating a balanced attack that keeps defenses guessing, offering a mix of power, agility, and situational awareness that can relieve pressure from a team still finding its rhythm in the early weeks of the season. The possibility of Ford joining Washington also opens up intriguing narrative threads for fans, who will be watching closely to see how he fits into a roster desperate for stability in the running game. Financially, Ford's situation adds another layer to the trade discussion. With roughly $5 million on the table, acquiring him wouldn't break the bank for a team operating under salary cap constraints, and his availability as a free agent at season's end makes the Browns' decision to consider a trade a logical one. From the Browns' perspective, moving Ford could free up roster space and resources while allowing younger talents like Judkins and Sampson more touches, aligning with a long-term development plan that prioritizes high-upside rookies. For Washington, the deal would be an investment in a proven contributor who can immediately impact games, particularly in short-yardage situations and rotational snaps where experience and reliability are critical. Ford's career trajectory, which includes over 800 rushing yards in 2023, demonstrates that he has the ability to perform at a high level, even if he isn't currently in a feature-back role. The Commanders, who are eyeing a playoff push in the competitive NFC landscape, could leverage Ford's skill set to shore up one of the weakest links on their roster, potentially turning a challenging situation into an opportunity to strengthen their championship aspirations. Looking deeper into the team dynamics, it's clear that the Commanders' running back room is in a transitional phase. Ja'Cory Cross-Gameret, despite his status as a seventh-round rookie, has been forced into significant snaps early on, a testament to both his potential and the lack of depth behind Ekeler. Jeremy McNichols brings veteran savvy but is not a consistent feature back capable of handling high-volume carries, and Chris Rodriguez Jr. offers flashes of explosiveness but remains inconsistent. In this context, Jerome Ford could provide a stabilizing presence, a player who can seamlessly rotate into multiple packages, contribute on third downs, and handle situations that demand a reliable ground game. His versatility allows the Commanders to experiment with different offensive looks without overburdening any single back, which is crucial for a team that hopes to maintain durability over a grueling season. Moreover, Ford's experience in a crowded backfield in Cleveland has likely prepared him for a similar environment in Washington, where multiple backs may share responsibilities depending on matchups and game flow. His ability to adapt, coupled with a proven work ethic, makes him an attractive candidate to step in and contribute immediately, even if his role isn't always in the spotlight. There's also a storyline of redemption and opportunity intertwined with Ford's potential move. After a productive 2023 campaign, Ford found himself in a less prominent role with the influx of new talent in Cleveland, highlighting how quickly circumstances can shift in the NFL. A move to Washington offers a chance to reinvigorate his career, demonstrate his value in a meaningful role, and potentially increase his marketability heading into free agency. For fans and analysts alike, this narrative adds intrigue. Can Jerome Ford return to the form that once made him a standout back, or will he settle into a complementary, rotational role that nonetheless proves critical for a team chasing playoff success? In an age where storylines often matter as much as statistics, this human element adds depth to what might otherwise be seen purely as a transactional move. The Commanders, therefore, are not just evaluating his on-field contributions. They're considering leadership, experience, and the intangible benefits he brings to a locker room seeking cohesion amid adversity. From a tactical standpoint, the integration of Ford could allow the Commanders to maintain balance in both their passing and running games. Ekeler's absence removes a dual-threat option who excelled in both areas, leaving a void that cannot be filled by a single back alone. Ford's ability to catch passes out of the backfield and contribute in rotational duties provides Washington with flexibility, allowing offensive coordinators to mix personnel, create mismatches, and sustain drives even under challenging circumstances. In a league where adaptability often separates playoff teams from those that fall short, having a player like Ford in the mix can be a decisive advantage. His presence could also open up opportunities for other backs, relieving pressure and reducing injury risk while ensuring the team maintains offensive efficiency. This layered approach to personnel management is emblematic of modern NFL strategies, where depth and situational versatility can determine the outcome of crucial games. As the season progresses, all eyes will be on the Commanders' front office to see how aggressively they pursue solutions in the running back room. Jerome Ford represents a tangible, attainable option, but the move also signals a broader commitment to competing at a high level despite unexpected setbacks. Fans watching closely will notice not just the immediate impact, but also how this potential acquisition fits into a longer-term vision, balancing current competitiveness with future flexibility. The story of Ford's potential trade is emblematic of the NFL's fluid nature, where injuries, rookies' emergence, and free agency considerations constantly reshape rosters. In the end, the Commanders are faced with a classic dilemma: how to seize a chance to strengthen the team now while preserving options for the future. Ford could very well be the missing piece that allows Washington to weather the storm of Ekeler's absence, offering stability, versatility, and flashes of game-changing talent in a league where every yard counts. Ultimately, the discussion surrounding Jerome Ford and the Commanders is about more than a single player. It's about resilience, adaptability, and seizing opportunities in the ever-shifting landscape of professional football. Ekeler's injury created a problem that demands a creative solution, and Ford presents an immediate, realistic answer that aligns with both short-term needs and long-term strategy. Whether he steps into a starting role or becomes a key rotational piece, his presence will influence the team's offensive identity and could very well shape the outcome of Washington's season. Fans, analysts, and the broader NFL community will be watching closely as the narrative unfolds, eager to see how a running back who once thrived in Cleveland might find a second life in Washington, helping a team navigate adversity and pursue its playoff ambitions with renewed energy and focus. The potential trade underscores a central truth of the NFL. Opportunity often arises from challenges, and success belongs to those teams capable of identifying and acting on it quickly. In this sense, Jerome Ford is not just a player. He's a story waiting to be written, and the Commanders may hold the pen. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. The NFL world is buzzing today with one of the most jaw-dropping contract stories in recent memory. Rumors have finally solidified into reality. Terry McLaurin, the electrifying wide receiver who has consistently been a thorn in defenses across the league, has reportedly inked a mega deal with the Washington Commanders that will keep him in D.C. until 2030. Sources close to the situation suggest that this contract not only secures McLaurin for the long term, but also elevates him to the status of the highest-paid player in franchise history. A remarkable leap for a man whose talent has been evident since he entered the league, but whose value now seems to be officially recognized in the most concrete way possible: dollars and years on the dotted line. The numbers themselves are staggering, with an average annual value that places him firmly among the elite receivers of the NFL, and a total payout that could make heads spin when you start to tally the guaranteed money, signing bonuses, and incentives layered into the deal. While official figures are yet to be confirmed, insiders claim that the structure is designed to reward McLaurin not only for his on-field production, but for his marketability and leadership within the locker room. A recognition that he is more than just a weapon on the field. He is becoming the face of the franchise. For Commanders fans, this news is simultaneously thrilling and slightly overwhelming. On one hand, it solidifies a core piece of the team's offense for nearly a decade, providing a sense of stability that has been rare in recent years. The wide receiver position has been a revolving door for Washington, with flashy free agent signings and high draft picks rarely living up to the hype. But McLaurin has proven to be different. His route-running precision, explosive speed, and uncanny ability to make contested catches have made him a favorite not just in D.C., but across the NFL, drawing admiration from analysts, peers, and even casual fans who might not follow the Commanders religiously. On the other hand, a contract of this magnitude inevitably raises questions about the salary cap implications and how the team will balance investing in McLaurin with the need to fortify other key positions, including the offensive line, quarterback situation, and defensive reinforcements. Rumors circulating in league circles suggest that Washington is betting heavily on McLaurin being the cornerstone around which the next competitive era is built, a risky but potentially rewarding strategy that could pay dividends if he continues his upward trajectory. What's fascinating is the timing of this contract. McLaurin, drafted in the third round back in 2019, has steadily climbed the ranks to become one of the premier wide receivers in the league. Yet there has always been chatter about him testing free agency or exploring options with teams that have more consistent playoff appearances. Washington, however, seems to have recognized the urgency of locking him down before that scenario even became a possibility. Insiders hint that the front office engaged in an intense negotiation period, leveraging both McLaurin's loyalty to the city and the potential for him to become the ultimate face of the franchise. Rumors suggest that McLaurin himself pushed for guarantees that reflect not just his present value but the projection of his prime years, ensuring that even if injuries or team dynamics fluctuate, his financial and professional security remains intact. The reported term until 2030 is particularly telling, as it signals a mutual commitment. The Commanders are betting on McLaurin's continued dominance, and he is betting on Washington's ability to provide the surrounding pieces necessary to compete at the highest level. From a fan perspective, the social media reaction has been electric. Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit are filled with speculation, highlight reels, and analysis of the contract, with fans debating everything from whether the deal is too rich to how this positions the Commanders in a landscape where teams like the Chiefs, Bills, and Packers are constantly spending to retain their stars. Comparisons are already being drawn between McLaurin's contract and other marquee wide receiver deals across the league, sparking debates on how the market is evolving and what it says about the perceived scarcity of elite receiving talent. Analysts have pointed out that McLaurin's skill set, his combination of speed, agility, route precision, and hands, places him in a unique category, making him arguably the most critical offensive weapon for Washington since the days of Art Monk. There is also chatter about the intangible qualities McLaurin brings: leadership, community engagement, and a work ethic that sets a tone for younger players. It's rare for a player to embody both elite on-field ability and off-field influence, and this deal seems to reflect an acknowledgement that McLaurin is more than just statistics on a sheet. He's a cornerstone of a brand, a franchise, and a city hungry for NFL success. Speculation about the long-term trajectory of McLaurin's career in Washington is already swirling. If he maintains his current production levels, he could very well cement his legacy as not only the highest-paid player, but one of the greatest to ever wear a Commander's uniform. The contract also has the potential to redefine expectations for future franchise stars, setting a benchmark for both compensation and loyalty. Some insiders are whispering that the Commanders see this as the first step in a broader cultural and strategic reset, one where they are no longer just a team trying to make the playoffs sporadically, but a contender actively building around a core of proven, elite talent. McLaurin's presence could influence draft strategy, free agent pursuits, and even coaching hires, with the franchise potentially prioritizing continuity and synergy around its most explosive offensive weapon. The narrative is tantalizing. A young player, fiercely talented, anchored in a city that has waited decades for a consistent superstar, now officially rewarded in a way that reflects both his impact and his potential. Beyond the numbers and the strategy, there's a palpable human element to the story. McLaurin has long been admired for his humility, his focus, and his commitment to excellence. Those who have followed his journey from his college days at Ohio State to the NFL have often remarked on his steady rise, his ability to handle adversity, and his refusal to get distracted by the noise around him. Now, with this historic contract, McLaurin has the opportunity to write the next chapter of that story on his terms, backed by a franchise willing to bet the farm on his abilities and a fanbase eager to cheer him on through every high and low. The discussions about market value, contract structure, and salary cap implications are all fascinating. But the underlying story is about a player finally receiving recognition that matches his talent, a narrative that is inherently satisfying in a sport often dominated by fleeting headlines and short-term thinking. Of course, with any major contract comes pressure. McLaurin is now the focal point of a team's ambitions, and expectations will be sky-high. Critics will be watching, waiting for signs that the investment was worth it, while analysts will scrutinize every catch, every touchdown, and every dropped pass as if the fate of the franchise rests on his shoulders, which, in a sense, it does. But McLaurin has consistently shown resilience and the ability to perform under pressure, suggesting that he may thrive in this elevated role rather than buckle under it. The whispers and rumors swirling around DC are now solidified into a story that is impossible to ignore. Terry McLaurin is the Commanders' present and future, and the city, the league, and the broader NFL community are all watching closely to see how this bold, historic decision plays out. Whether this becomes the turning point for Washington's resurgence or merely a chapter in a longer saga, one thing is clear. McLaurin has arrived in a way that few receivers ever do, and the ripple effects of this mega renewal will be felt for years to come. As we continue to unpack the implications, one can only imagine the locker room dynamics, the on-field strategies, and the broader league reactions to this move. Will this attract other star players to DC, seeing that the Commanders are serious about building around elite talent? Could this influence coaching decisions, offensive schemes, or even draft philosophies? The rumor mill is already running wild with ideas, and every insider seems to have a theory about how this deal fits into the larger puzzle of NFL power dynamics. In the meantime, fans can savor the certainty that, for the foreseeable future, Terry McLaurin will be a centerpiece of their team's offense, a player whose talent, dedication, and now historic contract make him synonymous with Washington's ambitions. This story, a blend of financial audacity, athletic excellence, and strategic foresight, is shaping up to be one of the defining narratives of the NFL offseason, and the echoes of this mega renewal will undoubtedly resonate far beyond 2030. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.